folks who join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brian. Public comment.
Careful, there's a phone on the front of the podium.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna say anything. I just wondered if you could turn the lights down so we could see that.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to vote on warrant articles that we haven't voted on before that we've been waiting for the selectmen to address. Jim, can I turn it over to you and you can tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Is this working?
How about this one?
No. The other one, the one next to you. Oh, somebody's name tags, so I figured that out.
That better?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so last evening, just for your information, the select board did vote to approve the operating budget as you recommended by a vote of 5-0. The only other outstanding warrant article which you have to vote on is the petition warrant article on the Libby Museum. I'll read the warrant article. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be added to the existing Libby Museum Capital Reserve Fund for the purpose of renovating, expanding, and repairing the Libby Museum. The fund was established by warrant Article 12 in 2020, and further to amend said warrant article to remove the word expanding to now read for the purpose of renovating and repairing. If this warrant article passes, it will be the first step in removing Board of Selectmen as trustees. Should the Friends of the Libby decline trusteeship, a new Libby Museum 501c3 private nonprofit will assume responsibility for all future fundraising. If this warrant article does not pass, the trustees, Board of Selectmen can demolish the building. Estimated tax rate impact 2026, 1 cent per thousand of assessed valuation. This was not recommended by the select board by a vote of 5-0. And the reasoning behind not recommending it was this warrant article attempts to do multiple items, multiple purposes under a single warrant article that can't be done. So I do believe from what I've heard there will be an amendment on the floor at the deliberative session, but the article as written is not a legal article. If you have specific questions, I think you can probably get them addressed by Selectman Shays. Questions? Suzanne?
Suzanne Ryan. I'm one of the sponsors of this warrant article. Jim gave me the legal letter last night. Yes, there are problems with it, the language, but I expect that with the vote of the people in the public, if they would allow me to make amendments, that we can go forward with this in the wording to make it satisfy legal counsel. I would just like to say one thing about the article. There's a discussion about what it is we're trying to save. And it's not necessarily the building. It's about saving a museum that's an asset to the town of Wolfeboro. A natural history museum that's been a place for families and visitors to go for many, many years. So if we just keep you know, I understand if you're gonna have to vote no tonight, not to recommend because of the legal snafu, but, just please keep in mind, it's about, at the deliberative session, I'll explain, it's about saving a museum. It's not all about a building. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Questions? Bobby?
Brian, would you tell the board about last evening, because I don't think everyone watched the meeting and what the town council stated?
Yes.
It's right here.
Where's the legal?
It's right here. It's the highlighted circuits.
Yeah, it's the section of County Lane Road.
So, the problem that they had with the article was permitting a transfer. No, that's wrong. This is the living one. Where is it? That's the one for the expendable trust.
Isn't this good?
I don't mind reading it. It's nothing to hide. And thankfully, this was done properly in that the question is in print with the answer. So the question to legal was asked the following question. The Libby petition warrant article. The Board of Selectmen is asking about the second part of this. If it is legal, can they do anything? If it is illegal, can they do anything? Or does it have to be corrected on the floor? In my understanding, it has to go to the warrant as submitted. And then the reply is the response from legal. Much like we did last year, or maybe a year before, with the Police Commission petition warrant article, there is an opportunity to amend this article at the deliberative session. I think the second half of this is probably illegal because of its purpose, to give authority to the town to dedicate who will be successor trustees, and that decision rests with the charitable trust unit and the probate court. I also think that this article appears to be trying to do 3, maybe possibly 4 different things, which are not logically connected and therefore likely to create confusion amongst voters. As with all petition warrant articles, it is ultimately up to the board to decide what to do if the appropriation passes. They can make the decision not to appropriate such funds. I think that the only thing that this warrant article could technically do is change the purpose, which of course I intend to do, of the Libby Capital Reserve Fund, which now would require a 2/3 vote. The article should go to the Budget Committee because it involves an appropriation.
So thank you, Suzanne. The paper that she just read was the paper that I had last night, that I gave to her last night so that she would have the legal brief.
Thank you for the chain of custody explanation.
Thank you, Suzanne. Any questions?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I have a couple of questions. How much money is in that capital reserve account now? We know?
I'm going to say we spent about 100 out of it. It was about 320 with interest over the past couple of years. So I'm going to say in the neighborhood of 200,000
Okay.
less. We've got some expenditures that got to come out of that from the trustees due to the town for the stabilization work that was performed this fall.
Thank you, Jim. The second question I have is a housekeeping question. This amendment that we're speaking about, will it change the subject matter of the warrant article? And if so, might it be rejected by the moderator? And that's basically the question.
Anyone want to take a stab at that?
Well, I think it boils down to what the author of the warrant article plans on bringing forward. Are they planning on bringing forward simply amending the capital reserve fund? Are they bringing forward to remove the trustees? I think that is the question at hand. Which path are they looking to go relative to the multi-purpose warrant article as written?
Thank you. That's it for me, John.
John, I've got a question. Has the charitable trust unit of the AG's office said anything about this warrant article?
This has not been to the charitable trust unit. It has been to legal counsel, and it has been to New Hampshire DRA.
Do you think it's, I'm sure you would have done it necessary to contact them about the article to see if it's going to do anything that's contrary to what the trust unit is set up and told us to do?
I can sit here with a great deal of confidence and tell you that our legal counsel is in contact with the charitable trust unit on this matter regarding the Living Museum in whole on a monthly basis. I'm going to say that he probably has not briefed the charitable trust unit at this point because it's right now a concept that's been put in by petition, and there's been no action taken by the town.
Thank you, Jim. Brian?
Yeah, the warrant article asks for an additional $5,000 to be added to the capital reserve account. Is that amount designed for a specific purpose or just to have a monetary addition?
What's the question?
You asked for $5,000. Okay, was that for a specific purpose?
To be honest with you, it's to test the waters of the people in Wolfeboro. Do they want to try and save a museum or keep a museum? There was much discussion amongst us as to what figure we should put in there, and we just thought, we just want to know, do you want to spend any money to keep a museum in Wolfeboro? Because there's already that warrant article was established in 2020. It wouldn't get us anything. It wouldn't probably buy us a 2x4. But we would like to know what the voters, do they want one last chance? Or do they just want to throw their hands up?
I've got another question. Jim, is there any possibility if this was rewritten that the selectmen could address it by their vote if it was rewritten prior to deliberative session? Do we have a time frame?
The time frame is tonight.
Okay.
I have to have, the RA is reviewing warrant articles. The warrant has to be posted on Monday.
Okay.
I'm really hopeful that they complete the warrant tomorrow because I really don't want to be running around getting signatures on Monday with the pending weather.
Okay. So, do you need members to come in and sign some documents?
I will, if I've got to run around and get signatures, I will do that if the weather is inclement.
Okay, what would you like to have us come in sometime tomorrow?
I won't know when it's ready. As soon as it's ready, I will blast everybody and let them know I need signatures.
Okay, let's all try to get in tomorrow once we get the email from Jim. And I'll make him have to run around on Monday. Paul, did you have a question?
Just a comment, if I could, John,
Oh, of course.
on your question.
Certainly.
We hate to use the word process, but we followed one. pencils went down last night. If we want to rewrite warrant articles, then anyone else who submitted a petition and wants to modify the petition should also be given the same right and opportunity to do that. My personal opinion, only speaking as one member of the board, I wouldn't be necessarily supportive of any of that. We're done.
Okay.
I think it's up to the voters and up to the petitioner to make whatever adjustments they feel are necessary. We have not traditionally and customarily provided, legal advice. Well, we did, and that's right. It's okay. So it's up to the applicant or the petitioner to do whatever they need to, up the money, down the money, hold the money. I think bringing it back to the select board would be improper.
Okay.
Personal opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go with Barbie.
Thanks, John. Just quickly, we cannot change this warrant article, nor can the petitioner until the deliberative session.
John?
Yes, Suzanne?
One last thing. Again, I don't know if I'm correct on this, but the budget committee, if there are changes made at the deliberative session, the budget, and I'm talking about money, the budget committee holds a meeting after the close and then has an opportunity to reconsider their vote.
Yes, I understand that we've done that over.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, I would ask you to just keep that in mind. And then the other thing is, if you read the warrant article, those of us who put our time into this, we understood that it has to go to the charitable trust. We just can't kick them off. Maybe, as much as maybe we'd like to, but they have said they do not want to be trustees, so we thought we'd let the people know. But we knew, those of us who wrote this, and most of those who signed it knows, and the town has expressed this at the board meetings, that it's going to take the charitable trust unit and to support whatever, and the judge to bless it. So we knew that, and that's why we put this warrant article, if it passes, will be the first step. That's what we were trying to communicate. Now, how far I go with trying to amend all this, I don't know yet. This is all fresh and new, so we'll see. But to my board members here, don't feel bad if you have to say not recommend. If that's what you feel you should do, I hold no grudge against you.
Justin?
I fear I might know the answer to this, but if this doesn't pass, what is the fate of the Libby in the next year? What happens?
If this passes, if this doesn't pass, Board of Selectmen are actively trying to find successor trustees. We have not been terribly successful in that endeavor. So, question going forward, to answer, I think, one of Suzanne's questions that she's been asking regularly. In front of the board about a month or two ago now, there was a question whether or not the Board of Selectmen should hold public hearings, whether or not to raise the Libby Museum or not. Based on the feedback that we received from citizens, the Board of Selectmen decided to hold public hearings on the future of the Libby Museum. Not to raise it, not to do anything else, but to garner input from people in the town regarding their opinions on the future of the Libby Museum. That is the next step. From that point, I don't know, but if anybody knows who's a successor trustee, please come knocking.
And the CTU has said that our successor trustee would have to have the ability to have a building to hold the collection, which means their own or rebuilding the building that exists. They would have to know how to run a museum, So they have to have museum experience, and they would have to have a $1 to $2 million endowment to support the museum.
Not sure. I agree with that.
Yes. So you're looking, if you're looking at the current building, you're looking at $5 million to get the building put back together and have an endowment and have the expertise to run the museum.
Thank you, Brian. Any other questions? Okay, I need either a motion to recommend or not recommend this article.
I'll make a motion to not recommend this warrant article.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
John, once again, the motion is to not recommend the warrant article. So to not recommend, if we do not want to make a recommendation, if we do not want to recommend, we have to vote yes. Thank you.
Vote aye.
Thank you.
I guess I'm just going to, yeah, we don't have the correct warrant article, the right wording or whatever. Because this is going to go on the package that we give out to everybody, and it's going to have influence on the people that are here. That it's not going to recommend, no matter what she says, it's going to influence those people because they're going to look and say, well, the budget committee didn't recommend it. And that's one of the biggest disappointments that I have on that. Why not? So I'm going to vote against the not recommend. Because I think it has too much influence over the voters.
John, I'm willing to pull my motion if you want to do it the other way.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Well, if we make a motion to recommend, I'm just going to vote no. And if you want, I'll pull a motion.
You've got a motion to not recommend, and that's fine. We have to vote on that.
But you don't like it.
Well, there may be another 8 people that like it. I'm just voicing my opinion. That's all. And please remember that this is to get to deliberative session. There is a very, very strong possibility that this is going to be amended on the floor at the deliberative session. After that is done, then you have the opportunity to vote on it again to be placed on the warrant. So I understand what you're saying, John. Apologize for not providing you a printed copy tonight. But this may not be what is printed on the warrant. I understand, Jim. There's no apology necessary here. You've done an excellent job on this whole budget. I appreciate it.
You got Bobby.
Bobby?
So when it's amended, I just want to point out that the dollar amount has to be amended for us to take another vote on this. So anything that is done at the deliberative, you have to change it by at least 1 penny.
Yeah.
Because it's a monetary.
Is that?
It's not substance, it's monetary.
Is that true?
I'm not aware of that.
I know it's not. Okay. Never mind.
It's monetary.
Any other discussion?
I would just say that I would agree to not recommend based off the statement of the current wording needing to be amended. But for me personally, I would want to see it amended.
Yes, quickly.
Jim, should the amended, if it's amended on the floor at the deliberative session, what if it's determined at that point to still be unlawful?
Legal will be here. They will advise of that. And I would be very, very hopeful that before we get to the deliberative session, somehow there's a conversation that takes place to ink a warrant article that is legal. And just to punctuate what I think Bobby's point is, I think if all of a sudden this becomes legal, then you do have the ability to re-vote on it because now DRA is going to approve it. and it does change the warrant article. So I will get that clarified in advance, but that's what my sense tells me. Any other questions? Bobby?
I was wondering if I could vote at the end, please.
Okay. Mr. O'Brien?
I know I'm speaking as you have a motion here. Again, my personal opinion is the alternate. I would find it highly improper if we are providing legal advice to a petitioner to make their warrant article fit. Because other petitioners would then say, I should have the same prerogative. That is something that, at least in the time that I've served on this board, we don't do. So Jim is right. If somehow this becomes fit, whatever the right word is, great. But I would just suggest that I do not support and I do not believe it is proper for our attorney, our attorneys, to provide legal advice to a petitioner as to how to make their article fit beyond what you currently have. So the passing back and forth of draft language, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Could we do it this way? Could we do it that way? I would personally think that is highly improper. And I'll just park it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Brian?
Yeah, hasn't that ship sailed already?
It's done.
Oh,
Yeah. But I think that, but Brian, I think the question that's before us, or before your team here is, you know, we need to figure out a way, I mean, that's what I'm hearing, we need to figure out a way to make this thing legal and proper at the deliberative session so that some of you folks can take another bite on the apple. That's a great idea. My only comment here is, this is, you know, that activity of making it fit and proper is not something that the town should have its lawyer coaching a petitioner to do.
Bobby?
I think that our town council sent this letter to our town after our town reached out. I don't think anyone on this board is reaching out to town council in any way, and when this board does, it would be through our town manager.
I think what I'm saying, Bobby, is Brian has said, we're done giving advice on the petition. Any further legal advice should not come from...
I just want to make sure you're not insinuating that any board member here is using our town council.
No, not at all. I'm just saying that
Okay.
more legal advice on the petition we shouldn't have a petitioner either through Jim, two lawyers saying, what do you think about this wording or that wording? I think that we're done on this petition and others.
the burden should be on the petitioner.
Correct.
And it is.
Go ahead, Bob.
I would like to move the motion, please.
The motion is to not recommend the current Libby warrant article. Do we need to read it to everyone, or is everyone pretty much all set?
I'm all set.
Okay. Roll call vote, please, Leanne.
Bob Tupper,
Yes.
Justin Brown,
Yes.
John McDonald, Tom Bell,
Yes.
Bob Mulholland,
Yes.
Ryan Black,
Yes.
Suzanne Ryan, abstain. He's not there. Ryan DeShays
Yes.
and Bobby Goodman.
Yes.
Motion passes
7-1-1-1.
7-1.
7-1.
1-1. Okay.
That's not true.
Okay, Jim, do we have anything else that needs to come before the budget committee this evening concerning the deliberative session?
So, not related to the warrant. I did do some further updating to the slide presentation. I don't know if you've got other things you want to go through first, or if you want to go through that.
Just whatever I think we've covered everything we need to take a look at.
Okay, so let me breeze through this really quickly. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm going to give you what my thoughts and recommendations based on my observations of the budget and giving the budget presentation. So we'll go through, these are a lot of the similar slides that you previously saw, made some slight changes today based on recommendations that I heard last night after the presentation. So this outlines the whole budget by fund and gives you a graphic representation of the 25 proposed budget that was voted down, the 2025 that was approved by the voters, the 26 default, and the 26 proposed. Going to the next slide, broken this down by function of the general fund, function in the town. Yes, general fund. General government, public safety, streets and highways, sanitation, health, welfare, conservation, culture, recreation, debt service. Along the top of the graph of the breakdown has the proposed numbers. 25 proposed that was voted down, 25 approved, 26 default, and 26 proposed. Graph chart that you saw previously, these are all charts that you previously saw. So that's pretty straightforward. This breaks the entire budget down based on percentage again. And this is what the MS 737 document looks like. So what I did is I took and I broke this down by general government and all of the functions within the general government. The 25 approved, the budget committee recommendation, and the differential between 25 and 26. Public safety, same thing, quick ups and downs. Streets and highways, same thing, quick ups and downs. Solid waste, single department, but downs. Health and welfare, lays it out. Recreation, culture, conservation, and development, gives you a summary of it. Debt service, gives you the breakdown of it. Enterprise funds, which I haven't updated this slide today. And then it would be going back to this, which was voted for by the Board of Selectmen. Now, what I think would make a lot of sense here, at least in my opinion, and you guys can do what you want, but I know these particular items inside and out and can speak to them pretty well. So I would recommend that I go through this portion, and then I would recommend that you, as the budget committee, appoint somebody to go through the general government, somebody to go through the public safety, somebody to go through streets and highways, sanitation, health, welfare, culture, recreation, go through those sections, give your narratives on those, speak to why the ups and downs are, and go from there. Do what the committee wants, but based on what I've heard, from input from some of the people around town, the board of selectmen, this is what I have for you at this point, based on feedback we received at the first round of the budget hearing. So I can take input from you at that point and make amendments.
That's on the slides you have for all the, that's it, but we see everything that's going to be presented.
John, I don't think anybody can hear you. Mike?
Keep talking to myself. Is everything that you've shown us, is that all we've got to present? It's just those dozen or so, I call them slides, I don't even want to call them, but is that it?
So that would be it for the budget, other than a couple slides for the enterprise funds.
Okay, what's everybody think? Comments? Bob?
So when we started this process back a while ago, we decided that we wanted to change that whole budget process so people understood it better. I think the town manager has done a great job doing that. It's there where everybody hopefully can understand it. But I do think, I think having each member of the board try to present this, it muddies the waters, and we saw that. It was a failure. It didn't work. Some people didn't even know what we were talking about. So I think one person presenting what's on that board, and then if the people want to ask a question, any one of us can answer it, the town manager can answer it, the selectmen committee, or the department heads. I think we keep it simple so people understand it, because if we all go ahead and start presenting different things, I think it's just going to confuse them. And I got a motion if we need to do that, but...
Let's do a little more discussion.
Okay.
Before we jump into that. Bobby?
I completely agree. And can we just all give Jim a round of applause? Because again, he does not have a finance director, and Jim is doing this, and he just did something for this board that we all owe him a debt of gratitude. So, Jim.
John?
Yes, sir.
As I recall, the deliberative session last year went about 6 hours, and unfortunately I was ill, I couldn't make it, or maybe fortunately. But I think, I agree with Bob. I think it would be a good idea if we go back to one person going through this. The section that Jim offered to elaborate on, that might be a good idea to incorporate that. But I fully agree with Bob. I think we should really try and do this session as efficiently as possible.
Thank you. Thank you. Other comments?
If I may.
Yes, go ahead.
I really like it. I think it's very concise and easy to follow. I just personally also think that the handout should have a description in addition to just the slides that elaborates more on the increase or decrease in the different areas so that people have that in paper form. But I think I heard you deliver this last night, and if you can do that, that would be perfect, in my opinion.
So you want Jim to write a narrative?
No, I don't want to put the work on Jim, that's not what I'm saying at all.
So Jim, you want to do the first half dozen slides?
Yeah, I'll go through those slides up to that point right there. Probably this one to close out. And I'll put a closeout slide for my end of it to hand off to whomever to go through the MS 737 document that lays out 25 approved, budget committee approved, and the differential between the two.
What is the next slide?
Next slide is public safety. Health, our streets, sanitation, health, so on and so on.
No Parks and Rec or?
Yeah, they're there. They're right there.
Okay.
Now, one of the differences here is this, like for Parks and Rec, for example, it takes all of the envelope of Parks and Rec and puts it into a singular budget. So instead of Parks and Rec, administration, maintenance, beaches, Abenaki, programs, it compiles it all into one.
And that's kind of what I was saying. Like I like the slide if this is the form that it has to be delivered in, but then in the packet, which I don't mean to put the work on you, but the packet would have those different departments broken out so that if somebody has a question on beaches, they would have the information that we're, A, hopefully proactively providing to them, but B, if they still want to get up and have a question, they know, what's in these gross amounts.
So, yeah, and what I would recommend, if we can get those things to me, that would be great. We can build that supplement, and we would put a note in here, and we would have two packets, right? We would have the packet with the narrative, and we'd have the packet with the slides, and we could put on the narrative of the base of the slide, see page 7 of the narrative or something like that for your narrative.
And just so I understand, is it the law, the rule, that it has to be read aloud, or is that just the proper customer service thing to do?
So, this is the legal document right here. This is pulled in from the DRA portal in an Excel format to be able to, fit the slide and do the adjustments. For example, it's all black, so I did the reds for the debits.
But I think the question you were asking is, does this document in its entirety have to be read into the record?
Right, at the deliberative, does it have to be verbally presented?
Does somebody have to sit there and say, 4520 Parks and Recreation 1147, like that?
That's what I'm asking.
I'll ask.
That's what you've customarily done, John, is that correct?
We've never done like 452 all or anything like that. We've gone through each budget and explained where the increase was of the decrease.
John?
Yes, sir.
This model you have up on the board, Jim, it more closely follows the school district and what our tradition has been. And the school district has a budget that's almost twice as much as we do, and they seem to run through this section of their deliberative session much quicker than we have been doing.
Did they read stuff into the record, Bob? Did they read it into the record?
They actually, from what I recall, the chair always does it, and I don't remember him reading every line exactly like we would, but it I guess there is some play in it.
I'm just at a crossroads between providing enough information, because I think we should provide adequate information to get out of this default budget, but like we've had some comments, reading line item by line item doesn't get, it's just white noise to them. That's where I'm.
John, you could reach out to the chair of the school board committee and ask them how they present their budget at their budget hearings, and see if it's something that can streamline our process.
I think what Jim has done now is pretty streamlined. And I
Well,
think
meaning just with like this document, do we have to read? I mean, they might say, oh, when we do our budget presentation, we point out just these pieces. We point out just changes, just something.
yeah.
It might work. If you want, I can connect you with the chair of the school board.
Thank you.
No.
I like what Jim's done, and I think if we just take, if each one of us takes a section and just does it, it could be better. People will see different voices and get different opinions, and we'll be able to answer each question. What's that? I would like to see another good slide on the electrical accounts.
Yeah, so I will still tie in a couple of those traditional slides, the tax rate impact, those types of traditional slides that we've historically had. Yes, there will be a standalone slide for the MED, the water, the sewer, Bob Whalen. Yes, I just ran out of time today.
I just think that's very important that we show that those are revenue generating things and not part of the, the part of the budget, but not the operating part of the budget. I saw an article in today's Granite that mentioned was comparing us to Tuftonboro. And we're not Tuftonboro, we've got 6,000 people, and Tuftonboro's probably got 2,500. They don't have a center downtown. It's not a fair comparison. We should be compared to Meredith, Guilford, Littleton, some other towns that have close to the same population as us. So do we want to continue what we're doing and then just take the different sections of the slide and talk about that?
We have a motion on the floor.
What was that, agree, Mike?
Didn't Bob make a motion, I seconded it? So do you want to go through that?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Would you do it again, please, for me, Bob?
So, you ready, John?
Yes.
So the motion would be to have one person present the budget. That's the motion.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Meaning Jim or one of us?
Whoever they want to be. I think our chairman's very good at doing it.
Well, Jim was clear that he was going to stop at that graphic. So he was clear on that, and then it would be handed over to the board for the MS 737.
Which, I think what Bob is referring to, the budget, and this is the budget.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Brian DeShays,
Abstain.
Bob Mulholland,
Yes.
Bob Tuffer,
Yes.
Tom Bell,
Yes.
John McDonald,
Yes.
Brian Black,
Yes.
Justin Brown,
Yes.
Suzanne Ryan,
Abstain.
and Bobby Putman.
Yes. John?
702. Motion passes.
Bobby,
Bobby?
I'd like to make a motion that Brian Black present the budget.
Is there a second?
I'll second it for discussion. Can I say something, John? Does Brian want to do this? I think one of the younger members of this committee, like Bobby or Justin, I think this should be a seniority thing. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I'm not the public speaker that others are. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Bobby is.
I think that Brian is our vice chair, and I think John has traditionally done it in the past, and I think that we're trying to turn over a little bit of a new leaf here to, get people excited about this, and I think that in our community, Brian is very well respected because of his role that he's already played in the community, and I think that I think that Brian is a good face for our budget this year.
John?
Yes.
I would like to inquire as to whose idea this was. I mean, who created this monster?
What months?
Of all of us speaking. Well, I don't.
I believe that was brought forward by Suzanne and Bobby talked to me about having everyone participate in the process. And that's what we did.
And perhaps if it was their idea, then one of them should do it.
Well, that was part of it.
Well, I could say that in fighter jets, voice that they listen to is always a female voice because they say that people pay attention more.
Do not call my wife that.
Let me get away from getting between the two of them.
Can I just make a comment here? I feel as though it would be inappropriate for me to be the person to present this budget this year. I feel as though I am currently stepping up in the community in an election that I do believe that I don't think it would be proper for me to be the person doing this.
Thank you.
I don't want to.
Any other comments?
Yes,
Bob?
but you came up with this idea, and you thought it'd be a good idea for Brian to do it. And was that your idea, that Brian should do it? Whose idea was it?
I just made that motion because I feel he's our vice chair.
Okay.
And I feel that the vice chair is one of the leaders on this committee, and I feel like the vice chair should be stepping up to do this.
Well, I think the person who created this issue should do it. You know, we've been doing it the same way for, John, over 30 years.
I would say
And-
40, 50.
And yeah, I know what you're going to say, but you know, it has been working, and whether you like it or not, you came up with the idea. Perhaps you should do it.
Well, I will be honest, I came up with the idea that it just needed to be different, that we had to have a different type of presentation.
Okay.
And I do think we need to have a different presentation, and Jim has successfully created that for us, and I think that's amazing. But I also think if we're going to go to one speaker, which we are, I think that let's continue this, keep trying to do something a little bit different, and Brian is our vice chair, and that's why I made that motion.
I think it should be the chair. And we are presenting a little different format than we have in the past to address perhaps some of the issues so we're not all falling asleep and we're not, reciting minutia. So we are streamlining the presentation.
I agree with you, Brian.
Prefer
Yeah.
the chairman.
Let's go back to, what we've been doing for a lot of years, and it's been working. We've had a lot more budgets approved than not approved, and it's been working very well for decades.
We've made changes, hopefully, to address our budget presentation, make it a little more, I don't want to say entertaining, but a little easier for people to sit through.
Yeah. I don't know if we have a motion on the floor, but I would say that,
We currently have a motion. We have the vice chairman.
I'll withdraw my motion. If Brian really doesn't want to do it, I'll withdraw my motion. That's fine. I do believe that it has to be somebody who is crystal clear and can really get across to the citizens what is on this form. And I think that we have to have that conversation about who can reach out to our citizens to help with this, because we just had 2 default budgets. And I love that Jim is presenting this another way. I mean, that he's given that's a gift to us. But I think that we need to take a step on this MS 737 and have someone who can clearly let the people know what they're seeing.
Tom?
My recollection was that we were all to provide a narrative, I thought it was to the 28th. I submitted mine on a PD this evening. Leanne, have you gotten narratives from every one of us?
No, not everyone, no, but half.
Okay. Those narratives were put together by the people that had the greatest experience in terms of how each department got there. So I think we should be fully prepared to step in. But the whole issue, I thought, was that we wanted to be more edifying to the community so that they had a better sense of what went into getting to where we are, so that we had a better chance of informing them to pass the
budget rather than go back to a default. So, you know, whether John can read the narratives that we submitted, you know, and maybe that's what can happen. I'd be fully prepared to step in if there were questions.
Bob? Didn't we resolve that motion that we would go back to one person presented it with Jim's assistance? We already voted on that motion. Okay. So Brian doesn't want to do it. It wasn't his idea. And I firmly feel that John presenting the budget every year had nothing to do with our 2 default budgets. Absolutely nothing. So I think we should go back to square one. John's been used to doing it. I think John would be happy to do it again. Just got to keep the microphone close to him. I think everything will be all right.
John?
Yes, sir.
If I may, just to echo what Bob and Tom are saying, I believe that it should be John. He's the chairman and should deliver it, but my comment would be to, instead of deliver it in a way that it's a statement, provide a pause at each department, to Tom's point, and have it be more of a question. Should anybody have a question at that point on that department, they should come up and ask that question at that moment. Assuming that we provide a narrative and you do a great delivery, hopefully there's not going to be a lot of question, but I think the approach is that we want to answer people's questions so that they will vote in the affirmative for the budget.
You got Brian?
No, that just may be up to the moderator to decide to recognize someone if they have a question during our presentation. Am I correct?
We've done that before, absolutely. What Justin just recommended, we did that for years. So I would like to ask John, would you be willing to do this again, like you've been doing it for the last 30 years?
And yes, I will try to clean myself up, make myself presentable.
Just get you, keep the microphone close to you.
John, I don't think that's my comment. I just need you closer to the mic and to enunciate.
So, John, do you want that in the form of a motion?
If you would like to, that would be fine.
I make a motion, we go back to John presenting the budget. And John, would you like an assist from Jim on that? I'll add with an assist from Jim.
Yes, I would.
Okay, Jim?
I'm satisfied with your presentation.
Okay, so the motion is that we go back to tradition, John presenting the budget with an assist from our town manager. And that's it.
Second that.
Any further discussion?
Just to echo what I just said about pausing, not to belabor it and have the thing go all night, but again, I just think giving the people the opportunity to ask a question if they have one. And then to Tom's point, maybe at that point, if there is a question, whoever's department it was, you know, like if it's a police question, Tom would field or answer the question.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That's what I'll do.
And John will hate me for this one, but Wolfeboro Community TV may have a microphone that you put on. It is right here, and if you turn or you answer the question, it would be there no matter what. I know you look like Britney Spears, but that's okay.
I don't think so.
Thank you, Brian, for those positive comments. Yes, Mr. O'Brien.
I also thank Brian for his thoughtful remarks. It was very good. I like the idea of, you know, maybe as you're going through your presentation, that, you know, for the biggies, I'm not saying that other departments are not biggies, but you stop and you lean over to Tom and say, you know, Tom, you know, what else you have to share? You find the right words. And that way your team gets to weigh in and they have a one or two liner that A, demonstrates their support, and B, demonstrates that they know what they're talking about, which just builds credibility for all of you. So, and it takes the pressure off you having to be the, you know, the person that has to run the ball over the goal line. Everybody gets to do that.
But when we take our warrant articles,
Something like that.
John?
Yes, Bob.
That's not in my motion.
so,
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, I'm sorry, Bobby.
I'm wondering if you could remove your motion and then we can, or amend the motion to add what Justin has put in there, that when people have questions, the person who was in charge of that department and already assigned answers the question.
No. Our chairman said he was going to do that, what you just asked. You probably didn't hear him. John said he was going to do it that way.
Oh, you're going to do all the explanations too?
No, what's going to happen if there's something comes up with the police department, I'm going to say, Mr. Bell, would you be willing to answer that question? Someone comes up with the library, I'm going to look at you and say, Bobby, okay?
Kim, should we amend the motion then?
No.
Okay,
I think the chair is the chair.
okay,
And he's only been doing this for about 30 years.
great.
And again, the moderator also has the majority of the control, and I'll talk to the moderator before, explain to what we'd like to do. Any other discussion?
Can we call the motion, please?
Yes, sir. The motion is to allow the chair to do the basic presentation for the deliberative session on March 10th. No, what's the deliberative session, March?
February 3rd.
February 3rd.
February 3rd. Would you do a roll call, please, Leanne?
Brian DeShays,
abstain.
Bob Mulholland,
Yes.
Bob Tuffer,
Yes.
Tom Bell,
Yes.
John McDonald,
Yes.
Brian Black,
Yes.
Justin Brown,
Yes.
Suzanne Ryan,
Abstain.
and Bobby Budman.
Abstain.
Six, zero, three. Pass. John goes in.
603.
Good area, good.
John? Suzanne has a question. Yes.
To refresh my memory, is it the town manager that presents and discusses the default budget, whereas we don't make it? The budget committee doesn't make the default budget.
We've never really spoken much about the default budget at all. But as you saw last night, there were a couple of default slides in there. I will speak to gross appropriations, I will speak to default budget, I will speak to those items and try to make that very quick, concise, to the point.
John?
Thank you, Jim. Now, Bob.
Suzanne, traditionally, we have not done that. Only when somebody came up to the podium and asked how it works, or asked us to explain it. That's the only time in the past. If Jim does it, that's fine, but traditionally, no, we haven't.
I'm tired of traditionally.
Thank you, Suzanne. Any other comments? I'll make one, concerning abstain. I think this is the only year where members have abstained from voting. Usually when you abstain, you have some conflict with what you're voting on. And that's all I'll say about that. Okay, you know, the granting had a limit to the editor about the budget, kind of attacking Governor Curry's explanation. We've really got to work together to get this budget through. Yes? Sorry?
We just couldn't hear you. I asked if you could speak up. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
As you know, I think you might have seen the grant, there's a letter from a resident that was kind of attacking Camp Bennett Curry's letter. And we've really got to defend the budget. We're not the same as Tufton Borough. We're not the same as Laconia. You have to look at towns and compare the size as far as population and what the town has to offer. I would like to see in the presentation the tax rate, Jim, if that's possible.
Yeah, so we normally do, are you talking about the proposed tax rate or the existing?
That ranks us 9th out of 230 towns as far as the tax rate.
Yeah, I can put something like that in there. That's not a big deal. So the full board knows, my goal is to get this out to you in electronic format by the end of the 26th.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Monday. I really need any reviews back by Thursday morning, the 29th.
Yeah.
Because that's when we will start the print process.
Okay, very good. And I'd also like to see the numbers that Selectman DeShades mentioned as far as what our municipal rate is. I think, would you say, Brian, we're about number 20 or the 230, somewhere in there?
So for,
Brian, could you hold us a little bit closer?
for total ranking, no, I always talk loud enough. For the total ranking of, from DRA of our tax burden, which includes using an equalization rate to 100% based on what your valuation is, we come out as 32 out of 220 ranked towns. The only reason there's 220 and not 230 is because there are ties.
Right.
So I can get that information.
Tom?
Just to be clear, that's 32 lowest.
Yes, so the 32 lowest tax burden on its citizens, which is really, I mean, that's good. It's really good.
Bob?
John, that conflicts with what we looked at on the DRA website.
Yeah, that was, the one that we looked on was municipal, county, education, and SWEPT. This one here we're talking about is just the municipal rate.
That's too confusing. I think what we looked at was on the state website on the DRA, and we counted the number of municipalities that are taxing municipalities, and that's the number we came up with. I thought it was 231, 230, 231. I don't think it's a big deal, but there's only about 9. Two of them are Tufton Borough and Olton Borough, but as somebody mentioned here before, where is downtown Tufton Borough? You know, most everybody in Tufton Borough has to come here to take care of their business. So I don't think it would be a good idea to combine contradicting information.
Okay, would you use the one that you and I talked about then, the 850?
Well, that's on the state website. I think yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bobby, I'm sorry.
Just want to make a quick comment about the abstaining thing. I think that Brian started abstaining because he realized that his vote was swaying the board and he didn't want to do that. And traditionally for years and years and years, the select board never voted. Suzanne abstained because she wrote the petition warrant article, so that was important. And I will tell you, I just abstained on the last vote because I was not a no vote against you, John, because I like you. I just was abstaining because I am elected for the citizens, and I truly believe we have to pass this budget for the citizens, and I think part of that is us being able to clearly, concisely articulate what the citizens need to learn about this budget. And I didn't want to vote no because I'm not voting against you. That's not what this whole point was. This is that I truly believe we need to pass this budget. I think we need to work hard for the people of this community as we have, and that abstaining was because I was not a no. I truly Sometimes an abstention vote is very important.
John?
Thank you, Bobby.
John, Bobby, I'm so glad you like tradition. Thank you.
So I wanted to correct Bob. The table that I have looked at, which is from DRA, it gives you the name of the municipality, it gives you the modified local assessed value, it gives you the total equalized value, including any ownership of utilities and railroads. We don't have any railroads. It gives you the total local tax rate. So for 2024, it gives it at $15.90. That was our total tax rate. Then from that, it then does a equalization ratio, so it shows where your town is compared to the market value. Then it gives you what your full value tax rate is, and then it gives you your rank. So it gives everything.
Thank you, Brian. I think we decided to go the other way.
Thank you. Justin?
Since I was the one pushing for it, Mr. Canino doesn't have to accept, but I will offer to help with the narrative packet if you need it.
So it sounds like Leanne has all of those. If Leanne and Justin want to work on that, I think it would be wonderful. Get that to me as soon as you can for one, printing, and two, to tie the page number to the slide.
Just, no, I'm not going to be reading the narrative packet, am I? That's just going to be provided to people. Okay. Okay.
It's just backup data.
Bobby?
I think that if we're gonna have backup data and we're all submitting it, I think that we should have a sample that is universal, so people aren't reading a different analysis from 9 different people. I think a sample should be sent out, and we then should approach it from there for our individual departments.
Bob?
No, I touched the microphone by mistake. I'm sorry.
I think everyone has different writing styles and is comfortable with the writing for the past 30 plus years, and I think that's okay. If we just write the way we want to write, Leanne can clean it up a little bit, but everyone has a different thought pattern. But thank you. Okay, do we have anything else? One other thing, Allison from the library, she's been in contact with me, and they'd like to sponsor a learn everything about your budget, your town budget, put on by the New Hampshire Municipal Association. And we're looking probably at either let's see, I think she mentioned the dates of the 26th and the 29th of January.
I think it's the 28th. I think they got it pinned down at the 28th.
Well, down to the 28th. Okay, great.
I believe.
Okay, I haven't heard back from her yet. And as soon as I get that, we'll get the information out to you guys, and the town will put it on the webpage, and I'll send something on Facebook. But it'd be a good program for the public to come. What's that? I think it's going to start at 6.
Is that gonna be here in the Great Hall?
No, it'll be at the library.
Do you think that there will be enough space at the library? I mean, I think that this is probably a high interest event.
Yeah, I can talk to the head librarian, Allison, and get her thoughts on it. She may have a better idea of the capacity. But it'd be great if I'm gonna be there. It'd be great if other members can be there. Again, the big thing is we have to that $11,000, $12,000 that we use to fund electrical, water, and sewer. We have to show that that's approved or explain that that's used to buy things, and then we get it back in revenue. It's one of the big misunderstandings, I think, that exists with a lot of orders. Okay, do we have any other business to bring before the committee tonight? Jim, have anything? I do not. Mr. DeShays, on behalf of the selectmen?
No, nothing.
According to my records that I received today, It is the 28th, 6 p.m.
Okay, and it's at the library?
I don't have that, but I think that is correct.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Community TV, film that?
I will find out.
Why can't you go live, Jim, up there? What's the bandwidth big enough or whatever? Or?
Something to do with the infrastructure, John. I remember a couple years ago, he asked them what it would take to be able to stream live from the library. It was a $28,000 investment to be able to do that.
John, you're talking about the library?
Yes.
Might be wrong, but I don't think they have the camera gear. I mean, the camera itself has got to get bolted up to an internet connection.
Oh, okay.
There's plenty of horsepower going into that building.
Yeah.
Actually, more horsepower going into that building. It's coming into this building. So I think the gear, that thing that you saw the other night, it's not the operator, but the gear is done.
Okay.
See all that stuff up there?
Yeah.
I guess all that stuff makes it smarter.
Okay, great.
The gear they got is done.
Maybe Leanne and Jim, or preferably maybe Leanne could get a hold of Jim and see if you could set that meeting, recording that meeting as a priority, and try to get that on the local station, local cable station, as soon as possible, so folks can review it before the deliberative session.
And John, not to belabor the point, but that piece of hardware that's sitting up at the podium right there, it has a connection to YouTube. You can live stream it right out of that little critter right there onto YouTube.
Oh, interesting.
Right now.
Really?
Yeah, you can do it. Might take setting up a YouTube account.
Yeah.
You know, but you can stream that directly live right now. You can do it from a drone. So it's just a question of emphasis.
Yeah, but I don't think we're here. I don't know if there's the library sponsor here, so that's my concern. They may want to, right, but they may want to. Yes. You'll have to check to see if this is available that day. Any other questions? Thank you, everyone. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Public comment, actually. Public comment. Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
It's all right.
You probably don't want to hear from me anyway.
Oh, of
No.
course not.
Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt
High
you.
definition camera on the front of the podium.
What? What was that?
We have a high definition camera on the
I
front
know,
of the
I'm
podium.
trying to. So, I'm just giving feedback from maybe
And
what I
Blodgett.
hear. And Blodgett.
Can you speak into the mic, please?
I'm afraid to touch it.
We can pull it off.
Okay. All right. So, I want to be helpful. You want to pass the budget. I think you're on the right track with it being iterative and, to Justin's point, taking breaks between, because if it's one big flow, the eyelids close and people aren't comprehending and they're not focusing, but if they know they have a chance to talk, they'll listen more. I don't know if they have a chance to talk. Do they? Okay. And believe it or not, everything I'm saying is being recorded into this note here. Let's see. I like the different voices giving accentuation, even if it's sub-notes of what John's saying. Justin also mentioned having notes. If you could take a glossary from some public source, maybe from that library section, and have a page with the glossary. On the Citizens for Wolfeboro page, we have lots of information. Anything you guys do, if you're okay with it, we will share it on the Citizens for Wolfeboro page, particularly in light of the Town of Wolfeboro website being a little bit clunky to deal with. So we also have, one of the things we have on our blog is what's a deliberative session all about? You know, what the process is and what you can do. And so if you guys want to pass the budget, tradition's great, Bob. However, you've got a lot of people in there that don't give a you-know-what about tradition. Some of them are brand new to this process. So, and those are the people you really want. those may be the people that are voting no. You talked about making it clear about the enterprise funds not being part of the general fund. Really good point. In addition, I would say make sure that people are aware that warrant articles are in addition to that bottom line. I think that's sometimes a misconception. People don't understand that warrant articles are extra. Am I wrong? Okay. And again, we can publicize that stuff on our website. Can the website, the town website, have banners like it used to? It used to have a news section where you don't have to dig. Remember, it used to have
I believe it does.
I think it does, but I don't think it's I don't think it's a banner anymore, but it probably has that capability since it's newer than the old one, and the old one had that. Okay, I'm almost finished here.
That's okay, take your time.
And I'm going to reiterate what you said about the tax rate has to be in context. So whatever you're putting out about the straight old tax rate without the valuation is pretty meaningless. It's like a half an equation. We also have actually Paul O'Brien complimented the citizens for Wolfeboro for the explanation of promulgation of the tax rate. We have a piece on there. So if you have people who are asking those questions, direct them to Citizens for Wolfeboro blog. And this is not a paid political announcement or anything, but we're trying to help fellow citizens, which will help you. Thank you.
Tom?
Something I would add to the discussion, we've got the enterprise funds pretty figured out as to how we're going to explain that. The other thing I'm not sure the voters really understand is the fact that probably 2/3 maybe of the operating budget is fixed. You can't change it. Contracts, labor contracts, insurance. So if you put into effect a default budget, the changes that have to get made really cut to the bone because it's only 1/3 of discretionary expenses. The rest are non-discretionary.
Am I allowed to speak? I think that's a really good thing to add to that glossary or that notes page.
Right.
Everything you wanted to know or whatever it is. And that library session is great, but a lot of people won't go. So if there's a summary page out of it, executive summary page out of there, I think that would be really helpful. It's confusing stuff. You guys know what you're doing. Don't forget that everybody else doesn't. Thanks.
Thank you, Ann, appreciate it.
Hey, John?
Yes, Paul?
If you like, I can run through that piece I did the other night, explaining the enterprise funds as opposed to the operating budget. There are other things I did not get into, like administrative allocation costs and that go into the revenue stream that actually pays for what the people downstairs do for the enterprise funds. I could run through that again at some point during the presentation.
Yeah, that would be good. I think the enterprise fund, explaining those is extremely important. Because I don't think, as Ann said, I don't think a lot of people understand what the enterprise funds are. Okay. Bobby?
So this is a compliment, Bob, so don't take it the wrong way. You have a lot of information, so when you run through that, you run through it as someone who understands it. So I would just ask when you go through it, if you can look at it and run it by someone who might not understand it first, and ask them if they understand what you're talking about.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that would be fine. Time is always an issue. I try to condense that into the most understandable piece in the least amount of time. I always say you never want to lose your person who's listening to you. You never want to lose your audience. So that was my. But yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
We just got a lot there in that Cappy, and we just we have to convey that not everybody has the knowledge. Not everybody has this big, huge book in front of them that we've been staring at for months and months and months.
Okay, anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you, everyone.